Hello, fuckers! It's me, the only person who seems to have the balls these days to actually tell you all about all of the shitty, awful, terrible things that you do that pisses everybody off and makes them hate you. Again, maybe hate is a bit of a strong word there, and maybe just attacking people might actually make people hate me. But there are a hell of a lot of traits I see in social situations, online and around the furry fandom, and to be honest, generally just around people, that are actively damaging the relationships that they claim to hold so highly in their lives. And I thought, what can I do about that? Nothing. But I can shout and bitch about it, and that sometimes is entertaining. And I thought, fuck it. Let's see if I can open some eyes, because y'all are really fucking things up when it comes to the people you like, and you're actively pushing them away in ways that you don't even fucking realize. So here I am, desperately trying to make you all realize before you end up sad and alone and pathetic. I mean, there's a good chance you might be feeling that way anyway, but this should hopefully be a good thing. Let's find out. So the first thing I see that seems to push people right the fuck away is treating your friend group more like an audience than an actual group of people whom you have an interpersonal connection with. You see this all the time when you see people basically treating it like stand-up. They're trying to be the funniest person in the room. They're not really listening to anything anybody says or taking it on board because they're waiting for their next turn to speak. They have all of these memes, all of these jokes, all of this shit just prepared as if they've scripted the whole thing and this is open mic night. And everyone's kind of like, haha, yeah, that's funny, but also you're sucking the fucking air out of the room and you don't need to be center of attention all the goddamn time. I understand we all feel the need to perform. I understand that when we are very anxious in social situations, we kind of put a mask on of someone who is more confident, and we try and prove that we are worth being around by being entertaining or something like that. But there has to come a point where you let that mask down a bit and you let people see the real you and you actually engage and interact a little bit better. Because, I mean, how many of us have been around a group of people at a convention or something like that, and it's just, everybody is just firing off, like it's whose line is it anyway? And they're just line after line after line after line, and then you realise that none of these people are comfortable, and none of these people really seem to have a connection with each other. If this is something that you do, if this is something that you recognise, then you need to work on that shit fast, because honestly, it's tiring as fuck, and eventually people will just stop reacting to it because it just feels like enabling. Something I feel like you see a lot of in the furry fandom, or at least it seems like you do, is this weird sort of transactional relationship, where it's not so much like you're really close friends that talk all the time and shit like that, but it's more like a business proposition. You meet up to make content. You meet up to go fursuiting outside in safety in numbers kind of thing. And I will just start off by saying there is nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, if you are a content creator and you want to collaborate with people and you just want to sort of get that business done, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's actually smart business sense, essentially, of how it works. But both parties need to be on board with that. And you need to make sure you measure those expectations well. You also need to recognise that it's not going to potentially forge a lasting friendship. If all you're doing is meeting up and just filming shit all the goddamn time, then that's all it's ever going to be. And if you're looking for it to be a little bit something more, and the only thing you can think of to do is, well, let's just get in a suit and film some shit, then I'm sorry, might not work out that way. In fact, sometimes people might even see it that you don't want anything more, that that's all you come down for. I mean, hell, if you want to meet up with someone and you want to socialise, go out for a drink, invite them around and whatnot, but then you're kind of hurrying them along a little bit, you're not really spending that much time with them, and then when you go to make a video, you only have time to get your shit done and not theirs, then what are they supposed to think other than, oh, you just wanted to get your shit done and that was it. That's all this was to you, I guess. That's fine. That's absolutely okay. I don't know if I'm going to bother spending time doing that with you again, though, because what the fuck is the point? And that's kind of the point that I see with this stuff. And it's not in every situation, but it does definitely seem to be something that is noticeable. And I have seen people become very upset because, you know, they met up to do videos with people and they didn't turn into best friends. And I'm like, honey, that was not on the cards to begin with. You just seem to be the only person who wasn't aware of that. So, yeah, on both sides of this. As long as you know what you're going into, you're fine. But otherwise, shit ain't gonna go how you want it to. I don't know if I can say this clearly enough, but I shall try. Put your goddamn motherfucking phone down! If you are spending time with people and you are staring at your little screen, you are not spending time with people, okay? It is disrespectful as fuck. They've done studies on this. Just having a phone in the presence of people whilst you're talking causes damage in their trust, okay? You can't just sit there and have all of your attention taken up on this little fucking rectangle of light and expect people to still give a shit. We've all been in situations where, you know, you barely see these people and you're trying to enjoy the time that you've got, and then you look over and like, oh, he's just scrolling. Just mindlessly, aimlessly scrolling. Okay. And it's always funny because these people will say, like, you know, you're their priority and that, you know, they want to give you their time. And I'm always quick to say, no, you don't. Your intentions are not what you say, they're what you do. Same with your priorities. So if you tell me, oh, well, I want to prioritize you and the time that I spend with you, but you actually sit there on your phone the whole fucking time, guess what you actually prioritize? It doesn't work. You can't just expect people to accept that. Do you know how disheartening, do you know how disrespectful and hurtful it is to be talking to someone and you look over and they're just scrolling, just on their phone? I understand that social media addiction, phone addiction is a real thing in this modern problem, this world, well, the problem and world are the same fucking thing. And I do understand that it is all designed to keep your attention. It is designed to distract you. But if you can't fucking stop that, if you give into it every goddamn time, then who's going to stick around? Who's going to keep putting themselves out there for that? Who's going to keep trying to open up and have a connection with you when you're just focused on whatever you're scrolling on? And that's before we even get into the shit that you see when you're on there and how obsessed you get with it. If you really want people to know that they matter to you, put the fucking phone down and show them! The thing I feel like a lot of people tend to forget when it comes to relationships and friendships and fucking stuff like that is that it takes effort and consistent effort, but not only does it take effort, but it's the effort that shows, okay? The analogy that I would like to use would be that of a credit card debt. If you have a credit card debt and you pay it off by sacrificing, by budgeting, by showing that you are working hard to pay it off, that means a hell of a lot more than someone else coming along with a lump sum and saying, oh, I'll pay it off for you. Doesn't it? Because it shows that you put the work in. You recognize something that you didn't like and you put in place a series of actions and plans that would remedy that situation. And that means the world. That means a lot. That shows that not only did you address the problem, but it's less likely to become a problem again. The same thing happens with your relationships. It's not just about fixing the problem, it's about showing that you can, you're willing to, and that you actively do. You can go to people for advice, and you should, and you can go to people and ask their perspectives, and you should, but you can't expect them to fix it for you. And if you're not going to put the effort in, if you're just going to do the base level of shit, and then wonder why things aren't paying off because you're putting your effort into other things, then how do you think it's going to go? You have to actively prioritize the things that you say you're going to prioritize. You can say that you want to spend time with someone, but if you don't and you just go and spend your night doing whatever the fuck it is you do on a computer, then guess what? Your priority was spending time on the computer. It was not that person. Stop lying to yourself. Maybe you haven't realized that just yet, but you have to put that fucking effort in. Otherwise, if you don't, if you don't put gas in a vehicle, it won't drive. You don't put effort into a relationship, it will fucking die. Okay, this one is a little bit like the phone one, but it kind of goes a little bit further, because sometimes people aren't just obsessed with the phone, sometimes they're obsessed with what is on it. And that's when I have to say that this ain't fucking social media, okay? A conversation or a meet up with your friends is not a time for you to basically treat it like a real-life Twitter or Instagram or TikTok feed. We don't need you to sit there and be like, hey, look at this thing, look at this thing, look at this thing, look at this thing. Because you already probably fucking send all of that shit in DMs, okay? It doesn't make you funny. This is not stuff that you have made. This is not stuff that we're looking at and like, oh wow, that's a really well thought out joke. Congratulations for writing that. It's stuff that other people have done. Okay, we have whole systems of social media whose whole job is to collate information and force it down our fucking throats. We don't need our social situations to be the exact same thing from people that we're supposed to have a deeper connection with. I understand that we all see funny things online and we want to reference it, and I fall prey to this a lot. I listen to myself talk in situations sometimes, and I'm like, why the fuck am I just bringing all this shit up? And I have to stop myself. I just wish that other people did that too, okay? I understand that it's funny, I understand that you saw this thing and you want them to share in the moment, but what's going on your little shiny rectangle is personal to you. And if you're spending time with people, they're going to want to actually spend time with you rather than just see whatever the fuck comes up on your social media. Okay? It does not count as social interaction. It does not count as a true fucking social meetup. Stop fucking doing it, because honestly, no one cares. I don't need you to sit there and do it. I've got a little fucking device that does it for me. The final point is that there's a limit to all of this. It's not going to be something that people will tolerate forever. In fact, people do have very strict limits with how much disrespect. You can't treat this as a video game. There's no respawn point, there's no checkpoint where you can just turn up again and try the exact same problem and, you know, go from there. There's only so many times you can disrespect someone, you can not meet their needs, that they will tolerate and stick around. And I very much have this opinion that I do not believe in potential, ever. I never believe in someone's potential. Potential is a lie that you tell to yourself. You say to yourself, I believe this person can be what I want them to be. But there's no evidence to back that up, because the evidence is in front of you and they're not being that. What I believe in is somebody's actual actions and capacity. So if I believe that someone can do a thing, it's because I can see that they've done something like that before. And that's the kind of thing that you have to go by. You have to show people that you will do that and that you do that, because otherwise they're going to run out. And people won't believe in potential for long, because if you don't back it up, then what are they sticking around for? If they have needs that are going unfilled, they're going to need to get those needs filled, and they'll go elsewhere. And if that ain't you, buddy, then I'm sorry, it wasn't meant to be. You have opportunities to fix it. You shouldn't be wasting time. If you see a problem, work on the problem. Don't just, oh, well, I'll do this thing and hopefully that'll fix it and we'll see where we are in a few months. Okay, cool. Because where you are in a few months might be a completely different destination as to the person that you claim you care about. I understand that change is scary, I understand it's hard, and I understand that we all relatively don't want to do the goddamn thing, but that's fine. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. You will be fucking alone, though. And I see so many people taking too many chances, spending too much fucking time thinking that they can just do this shit later, that they can put it off, that they've got infinite chances. And you don't. You just don't. Fucking do it now whilst there's still a fucking point. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped, because I see this stuff all the fucking time. I see so many people doing these things and just showing these traits, and I'm just like, do you not want to be around people? Do you not want to work on yourself? I get it. Change is scary, progress is hard, and admitting fault is not something that everybody can do, at least not at an early age. So it is a little bit of a tricky thing to try and look at all of this stuff objectively and think, maybe I should do something about that. But I mean, it's a lot of people complain about being alone and how they never find anyone and how their friends aren't exactly, helping them out with this sort of stuff, and it's not a two-way street for them. And I'm like, what exactly are you doing to help that situation? Because all of this shit that we just went over, this is actively poisoning all of the people's relationships in your fucking life. And if you continue to do it, people ain't gonna fucking stick around forever, are they? Because you're not really holding up your end of the bargain. But I've said enough. I hope it helps. I hope some people have their eyes opened and actively work on this shit. I would also say that nearly everything in here is something that I myself have done and learnt from and moved on. So it's not just me having a bitch at stuff that I see in other people. It pisses me off because I did it myself and I won't tolerate it in myself neither. So, yeah, there we go. But anyway, now that we've done all of the serious stuff, it's time for me to be shameless. So if you would like to see exactly how shameless I get from the ankle down, there's that link right there, which also has like Amazon wishlist links and shit and ways that you can just give me money. So maybe check that out. It's also got all my other social media and shit on there. So if you wanted to see where else I shout, then have a look on there. And of course there is the Patreon, which would be lovely if you check that out. Help support us, help keep things going, help me continue to be a fucking life coach, I guess. I should really move into that as a career if it was a sustainable career. It ain't. But, yeah, it's great. You get exclusives and stuff, and no one's really watching the video at this point anyway, so I could just say anything I want. But for those of you that have stuck around, why? Genuine question. I'm just here to plug my shit. Like, even I turned the video off at this point. But thank you, I guess, if you did stick around. If you did stick around this long, comment something random. Like, comment a random vegetable down in the fucking comment section. I want to see zucchini or fucking papaya. Papaya's not a vegetable, but comment a random fruit or vegetable just to prove that someone actually watched to this length. I look forward to seeing none of those comments. Anyway, that's it, I guess. We're done. I'm done shouting for the day. Bye.